Today's episode 90, and for the third time, we have notorious, if you will, Twitter personality Joey Isaacs on the pod to talk a little tennis. Slade and I are very thankful you are deciding to spend some time with us tonight. So, what's going on, man? How's it been going?
What's up? Nah, it's going great. I missed chatting with you guys, and I just wanted to go over how good the U.S. Open picks were. We should talk about that first.
Is it exactly a year since you were last on?
No, it was the
No,
U.S.
it's
Open.
Oh,
August.
the Open. Okay.
August. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
still talking about it in like the pod world.
So that was one of definitely, if I remember right, I think you went like 6-1 or 5-1 in like your first round matchups you gave out. Wasn't it something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So I'm ready for today.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. So today, plan on doing, I guess, more of the same. If you listen to our US Open podcast, we'll probably just talk a little bit, real quickly on any like off season stories. There's been a couple of weeks leading up to this Australian Open, and then we can kind of talk about the women's draw, the men's draw, some first round matchups we like, futures, any other season long thoughts we have, and we'll kind of just go from there. Sound good, guys?
Let's do
Yep.
it.
Okay. All right. So number one thing I want to start with would be Mr. Isaacs. I'd like to get your thoughts on Carlos Alcaraz. So he had Juan Carlos Ferrero as his coach. They could not come to agreement on an extension. I think it was about a month ago. So right before Slam, not necessarily ideal. Do you see that affecting him in the short or long term, or what are the ramifications of that?
I think it's really hard. It's just guessing how it's going to affect him, because we don't know the day to day, and whoever takes over is going to be great. I think what you'll see it actually when you'll be able to like call it out, like did this affect him, is versus Sinner. If he doesn't beat Sinner, then it's going to start to creep in as like, hey, he needs Ferrero. But besides that, I mean, he's just so far ahead of everybody else that it doesn't matter. I don't think that matters as long as he's happy and you know able to be himself, which you watch the videos and all that, and he's happy and outgoing and having a great
Yeah.
time. He did the whole like doorman thing, and it was the stupidest video, but I think that's what he needs, is someone, a coach who's going to allow him to be that guy off the court, like a little bit of a jokester, and not just tennis, which is seems to be going fine. So we'll see versus Sinner and it's too early to judge.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think Ferrero kind of just wanted tennis 24/7, whereas Alcaraz, he likes his weekend trips to Ibiza after a tournament win. He likes messing around. He'll probably want to try to play doubles with Raducanu this year or
Mhm.
something silly like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Um,
These coaches are like travel companions, so like as much as strategic, tennis strokes, changing.
yeah,
Usually, if they're changing like a stroke, they bring in like a specialist. Like Coco brought in a serving specialist, or whatever. So the main coach is so much more than like technical. It's like your best friend.
yeah, no, yeah, they're traveling the world with you. You're exactly right. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out, and obviously we're still a couple weeks away of a potential Alcaraz Sinner um, rematch again in the finals. In a Grand Slam. So we'll see how that plays out. But
No,
nonetheless, let's get it kicked off with the women's side actually. So I have the odds pulled up. Let's just go through kind of the favorites here. Then I'm thinking we kind of just start with quarter one, work our way through, see if there's any long shots we like, or if we're going chalky, and then we can kind of talk about futures. So starting at the top of the board, number one ranked player in the world, Arena Sabalenka. She's plus 180 to win the tournament. Iga Swiatek 6-1. Your U.S. Open pick, Elena Rybakina, who's great on the hard courts, plus 750. Anisimova plus 750. Coco Gauff 9-1. And then a pretty big drop off. Andreeva 18. Osaka 27. And then everyone else 30 plus deep.
right. So am I going with my, you want to hear my women's future?
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's see
All
what you
right.
got.
I don't think if you listen to the US Open, I don't think you're going to be surprised, but we're rolling again. Rabakana.
You're doing it
I think
again.
I think she is 1A. I think she's playing better than Swiatek. She's playing better than Coco Gauff. I think she'd won like 22 straight matches or something. Uh, she had a lot of like things off the court that were all over the news, and I put her as the second best player. Like, and I think toe to toe with Sabalenka. Maybe Sabalenka should be like on a fast, hard court, not much more than minus 150. I think it's like that's a perfect matchup for her. She wants these short points. She wants to go toe to toe. She lost last week to a player who can like move forward, Machova, who can like make it like an athletic match, and that's like there's not many women who can do that. There's like probably like three, so I think that's just like and she should have won anyways. So it's like an aberration more than anything. Uh, I think she's she won the year-end championship. She seems fine mentally, so I think she at plus 900, which I think is available if you shop around, is
Yep.
by far you know I think she should be like plus 400. That's from
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little deep or a little long, considering last year, like you said, she had the past 2 years really. She's been sick on and off. She's had some troubles off the court with her
yeah.
coach. So that whole situation's been a mess. But I think if she kind of comes in clean slate, I mean, I was high on her in the Grand Slams last year. Didn't end up working out, but I do think she's very live here,
Yeah, and
and yeah,
if you look at like warm up tournaments, like last year Keys looked great. Like she looked
Yeah.
like she switched from like her Wilson racket that I think is literally the shittiest racket to like a racket that actually suited her better, and she looked free. She looked like that. I don't think Rybakina's coming in like that, so that's not ideal. But she's serving so bad that that's all she has to improve, and she'll win the tournament, in my opinion. Like
yeah. I mean,
40%.
especially with the court conditions, it's going to be hot. If you're
I
able
was I
to
was going to
get your
mention
first
that.
serves in,
I don't know if you guys looked at the
yeah,
forecast, but I think this week it's actually not too bad. But then next weekend, I think it's going to be up to like 98 degrees. So I was looking at people like, I was like, I'm going to avoid some of these like older players, maybe try to get somebody who has the stamina if it has to go 5 sets.
Well, the women
yeah.
don't, but
Yeah. So with the women going 3 sets, it matters a little less, but the serving definitely matters. And I was listening to a podcast earlier today just talking about Coco Gauff. She's obviously the
yeah,
fourth highest or the fifth highest on the odds boards here, right around the Rybakina price. Um, do you think that she's going to be able to serve well enough to beat some of these top women in the tournament? Because we've seen, she's had these like a dozen double faults in a match. Like you
yeah.
can't do that against Iga, Sabalenka, or Rybakina. There's just not that
No,
much room for error.
I do. I think she is like probably to me the fourth favorite. I think she's ahead of Swiatek, and I think she's playing well. I would put Anna Samova third as like most likely to win the tournament, and
Yeah.
uh, and then Coco. I wouldn't be surprised, but I would need what Rybakine. I would need 9 to 1 ish in this weather. I think the weather helps her serve, but it hurts her forehand a lot because it's she with that grip, and she's such an extreme grip, and the heat the ball can just fly. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think this is the best tournament for her.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I know you've brought up Iga a couple times. She's going for her career Grand Slam, so she's won French Open several times, and then one of the U.S. Open and one of Wimbledon. Um, Second odds favorite here at around 6 to 1 plus 650 ish. She's actually lost her past two matches in the United Cup, so
Yeah,
hasn't looked terribly great. I was watching a Daniel Collins interview earlier, and
me
actually just
too.
tweeted it.
Me
And
too.
did you
Amazing.
see that?
Oh yeah, it's
Eagles or she said,
amazing.
yeah. Obviously, Slade. If you didn't know, they played. They have a little bit of a history. They played in the Olympics. I think it was the quarterfinals, and essentially, like Daniel Collins is always talking smack. If something happens on the court, Iga like somehow gets rattled and it throws her off for the whole tournament. We saw it with that. We saw it last year, if you remember the Australian Open. Iga looked pretty much unbeatable. And then there was that no double bounce call against Emma Navarro in the quarterfinals. And then she got a little shaky the rest of the match, ended up winning, and then lost to Keys in that 3-set match with Keys ended up winning it all. So I feel like conditions have to be perfect for Iga. I know her serve they've been trying to improve it, but really some days, like her second serve just gets annihilated by some of these girls who hit it hard. So that's why we've seen Anisimova have success with her after learning from the Wimbledon loss. But that's still going to be my pick. I'm still going with Iga. I think we're gonna get two career Grand Slams at the end of this 2 week
Wow.
stretch.
She
Yeah.
has a good draw. We can let's start with the. Do you want to start with the draws, like the picking the quarters with Iga's side for you?
Yeah. So what is she's down in quarter 4? So she's the highest seed there, but she is on a collision course with Rybakina.
She is.
So very strong quarter. Other seeded women, Bencic, Maya Joint has been playing solidly. Kalinskaya, Elise Mertens. What do you think? And then obviously Naomi Osaka too is going to be a
Yeah.
huge test. What are your thoughts on this quarter?
I think she should breeze through it. To be completely fair, I think Bill Bencic is probably the biggest threat, but she's going to lose to Rybakina. Um, sorry, the quarter does count Rybakina, so obviously I think Rybakina is going to win this quarter. But I think that Iga is on a crash course with Osaka, and that should be a good matchup for her. But she can ask for a better first 3 matches before the round of 16. Um,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Let's see the odds on FanDuel to win the quarter. Iga plus 135, Rybakina 2-1, Bencic plus 750, Naomi Osaka plus 750. I would find it very hard to believe one of those four women don't win that quarter.
yeah, and I wouldn't touch any of those, to be fair,
Um,
because if you're looking at
I
like
think
Rybakina,
potentially some long shots.
okay.
There's Kalinskaya 30-1. I know she's taken a
Not
set
in
off
not in love
Iga
with
in the
that. To be on
past.
a long shot,
Um,
Bencic played great last week, but she has a tough first
yeah,
round and second round. Um,
that's true. And she is obviously what did she play a full season last year or just half the season?
she did play the Australian Open, and I remember that she played Osaka, and one of them retired and was like crying and crying. I can't. I think it might have been Bencic, and then she was out for
That's
a
funny
while.
because that sounds like Osaka. But
Right.
last year in the Australian Open, Bencic beat Osaka 7-6, and then Osaka
Osaka
was
pulled
a
out. Okay.
walkover. Yeah,
So she got
yeah.
far. That was like the round of 16, I think.
Yeah, it was third round actually
Third
only.
round?
Wow,
Okay.
surprising. That's a good third round match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she did play a full year.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I
am I looking at this bracket right? So I see Madison
Yeah.
Keys is plus 700 to reach the final. Is that true for the whole thing?
That makes sense.
yes. So
So
that
she's
would be
30 to
what
1 to win the
quarters?
whole thing, but she's 7 to 1 to get there? Or is that just to,
Mm, I
it
don't-
says to reach final, Madison Keys 7 to 1 on DraftKings.
to reach the final. That's I don't even know where she is on my sheet. I gotta look her up. So she's okay, yeah. So she's Q3. So moving to Q3, she's the 9 seed, which is funny. This is headed by Anisimova. We have all the top Americans here: Anisimova, Kennan, Keys, and Pagula. So Slade, you're calling your shot. You like Madison Keys to get
No,
out of
I
that
just thought that
bracket?
that was a big gap. They're basically saying that they think she has a better chance to get there, but if she gets there, she's not going to win. It's kind of how I'm taking it. Is it just like her path is a little bit lighter?
That I have Anisimova to win the quarter plus 125, Madison Keys plus 370, Pagula plus 440. An interesting choice. I wanted to get your thoughts on this, Joey. The Linda Niskova plus 750. I feel like she's a young
That's
talent, kind of waiting
I,
to
I
get
was
on the
you
scene.
read my mind. I was gonna go for that. That was my pick for that quarter.
You're going with Niskova?
I think that's the best one, because Ostapenko's playing absolutely terrible, and they would hit in the third round. And I honestly think that Anisimovan's draw, it's one of those. I mean, Siniakova is not bad, but I think it's pretty so easy that she's gonna not be tested, and then playing a girl who I think Noskova is like was one or two in the WT and Aces last year,
Hmm.
and so she can really take the racket out of your hand. And Anisimova's not going to have much rhythm from the first three matches, where she's just going to probably cakewalk through. So I think it's going to be a really tough match for her. And then you got probably the most vulnerable top 8 seed in Pagula next. So I love it. I'm in.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I liked your point about Ostapenko. Unless she's playing Iga, she literally has no chance to go far in Grand
Yeah.
Slams. If she was paired up with Iga in like a round of 64 matchup, who do you think would win that match?
Honestly, as sad as it is to say, she looks absolutely terrible and uninterested more than normal, and a little. I mean, I'm not shouldn't body shame anyone, but she looks like she's even gained more weight, and she doesn't really hold that weight well. It's not like some players, so it's like more out of shape weight. Like this isn't.
She's really funny. Like she kind of just like owns it. She'll post like her at some like nice Italian restaurant with like a
Yeah,
huge plate of pasta. Yeah, I don't know how she does it, but she's obviously still a world-class athlete somehow.
she is. I love her. She's the best. I got a selfie with her in Indian Wells that's on my desk, and she's fun.
Good, good
A
stuff. All right, so
personality.
Slade, you're going with Keys. We
I
got a,
like it.
we got a Niskova pick. I'm gonna go chalkier. I'm gonna go Anisimova. We saw her lose in back-to-back Grand Slams last year. I have to think that she's gonna win a Grand Slam this year. I don't know if it's necessarily gonna be if it's gonna be this one, but I do think she ends up winning one in 2026. So I'll go with Anisimova.
Okay.
Um, let's move to the top. So we got obviously the one seed, Arena Sabalenka. And some other notable people here. She's got Jasmine Paulini, who's probably the weakest out of the top eight. I don't think she matches up very well with Sabalenka. Eva
No.
Jovic, the young American. Marta Kostyuk, who I was just texting you about the other day. Looks like she's uh, injury free, looking for a good year. We got Clara Towson, Victoria Mboko, the young Canadian, and Emma Raducanu. I think this is pretty stacked. I think Sabalenka probably still takes care of business, but I'm hoping one of these ladies can kind of make it interesting.
Yeah, I don't know who. Maybe I really just don't see any of them giving her like taking a set. I think you're gonna hear a lot of people picking Jovic to beat Paulini. I know they played last year and they went 3 sets, and Jovic is playing amazing. Did she just win the tournament last week? It was a pretty weak tournament, but she might have won the warm up. She's in the top 30. She's what, 17?
Yeah, she's pretty young, so she lost in the semifinals last week to
Okay.
Svitolina.
Yeah, Svitolina won
Um,
the tournament.
Yeah,
Who
but put up a good effort. And now she's in another tournament this year or this week. Just beat Magna Linette in the quarterfinals. That's a solid win.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's a really easy section. Uh,
yeah.
it's a bunch of seeds that are like going to be happy just to protect their seeding and win a couple matches and take the money, and they're not kind of people who can upset top girls. I mean, besides the Mbako girl, who I'm not high on at all. Like I know we talked about the U.S. Open, I still think she's a year or two away. I actually think McNally can beat her.
Oh, interesting.
Uh, she's finally healthy. I think she can come in, she can take the racket out of her hand. I think I will go with McNally beating Mbako. and then losing to Towson. Towson's definitely the most talented girl of the whole, you know, quarter besides Sabalenka, and
Didn't she beat Iga?
probably has a better team.
Towson
Towson
has
did,
beaten
yeah.
Iga.
She's got the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
She's I think she's number if Noskova's number one in aces, Towson's two. Uh, so the power game is there. So that definitely is the most likely girl to beat Sabalenka because I don't think Paulini can. So there's my assessment.
Yeah, and yeah, if you're not impressed with Mboko, that is a pretty easy path for Towson to face Sabalenka in the round of
Yeah.
16. So yeah, she should have pretty fresh legs. I did play one small future. I know my official pick is Iga at 6-1, but I did play some 80-1 Marta Kostyuk. I know I texted you about
Okay.
that the
You
other
love her.
day.
Yeah.
It's down to 35-1. Yeah, she just looks like she's in really good form. She just played Sabalenka a couple days ago, and she got beat, but it was a pretty competitive match. I don't know if she could necessarily take her out. It was a 6-4, 6-3 win for Sabalenka. She only forced 3 break points against Sabalenka, so some work to do there. But I do think she has the firepower to at least maybe make it competitive, especially compared to some of the other girls here. Like if she has to play Paulini in the round of 16, if it ends up getting that far, I would take Kostick there all day. So
I see.
yeah. In terms of, I guess we can look at the odds to win the quarter. Obviously, we're all in it with Sabalenka, but she's minus 220. Do you think that's probably too much to lay, or do you think that's decent value?
I mean, that's to make the semifinals.
That's to win her quarter, right?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, reach semis.
So I mean, you're looking. She's like she's gonna be. Then her second round's not terrible, but she's gonna be above minus 1,000 until the third round, where she's probably gonna be minus versus Raducanu, like minus. You know, they had a good match at the U.S. Open. I think she'll probably still be over like minus 400 or 500, whatever. So I do think it's not terrible minus 220 because the Paulini and Jovic aren't going to be a big test. Her really big test is going to probably be Towson, where she'll probably be, what do you think, minus 300, minus at least?
Yeah, I'd say depending on how they look, yeah, I'd say it's probably close to minus 300. That's probably
Right. And
fair.
she's also coming in looking great. She really cruised last week, and I think she trained hard for the Kyrgios match.
Definitely
So
trained harder than Kyrgios. That guy has terrible cardio.
yeah, and
Not
this is
surprised he's
a
not playing
great
singles
tournament
this
for
week.
her. She
Yeah,
should have won this tournament last year. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that I'd be very surprised if she doesn't make the semifinals.
I'm not a huge Sabalenka fan myself, but I found a rogue
Okay.
80-1 on Sabalenka to win all 4 Grand Slams this year. Put a couple peanuts on that.
Yeah, that's pretty
Um,
good.
considering if she wins this tournament,
Yeah.
French Open coming up, Iga is going to be the slight favorite there.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe. Maybe not.
yeah, exactly. So especially if she wins, so it's kind of all correlated. And I was actually
Totally.
listening to another tennis podcast earlier, and um, Drew Dinsick
Mhm.
at whale_capper on Twitter, he was talking about this, and he was gonna bet Sabalenka to win all 4 at 35-1 and liked it
Yeah.
at that number. So after hearing that, I was like, ooh, I definitely have to take some of this 80.
Yeah. Can you tell?
Um,
Can you say where it was?
it
Was
was
it was
on.
it was it PPH or was it legal like
Yeah, it
DraftKings?
was. Yeah, it's PPH, so it's definitely
Okay.
like a little stale. I feel like they
No,
would
then
keep
it
it
doesn't
though.
matter as much. But
Yeah,
I think one thing that's interesting is that did she even play Wimbledon last year? She lost, right?
Sabalenka.
Yeah, she played.
Um, she she lost in the semis to Anisimova 6-4, 4-6,
Another
6-4.
okay. So she got to the
Yeah.
semis. So yeah, I mean, I love it. 80-1. That's great.
That was. Do you remember Sabalenka's match in the quarters at Wimbledon? I'm looking at here was against Laura Sigmund,
Yes,
the
that's
German
actually what I thought
player.
she lost it. That was it
That
three
was
sets?
insane. Yeah, it went. It was 6-4 Sigmund in the first, and
Yeah.
Sabalenka won 6-2, 6-4. But I remember that third set was
I remember
nuts.
it. I remember live betting Sabalenka a few times at like pretty, juicy odds and being like, there's just no way this girl can just drop shot every two shots
Yeah.
and just get away with it. But yeah, I don't like Sigmund.
Yeah, I don't love her game.
No.
But yeah, Sabalenka can sometimes get a little rattled, get a little upset at herself. If she really just kind of just stays calm, and keeps and doesn't spray her forehand, she's usually in pretty good shape.
Hmm.
But okay, let's move on to quarter two, our final quarter here. This is headlined by 3 seed Coco Gauff, 8 seed Mira Andreeva, who I bet to win every Grand Slam last year, and lost money every single Grand Slam. Uh, Diana Schneider, who always disappoints as well. Emma
Yeah.
Navarro, Karolina Muchova, who's dangerous but always finds a way to get injured. Unfortunately, Marketa Vondrousova. Um, this one's tough for me. Man, I
Fiala?
I, I want to say Andreeva, but I feel like she just hasn't gotten any better. She won Indian Wells last year, looked like she was unstoppable, and then I don't know, got a little burnt out.
Yeah, she hasn't taken that next step to like really improve from Indian Wells. You thought maybe this is like the catalyst to just be like a machine, and maybe she just doesn't have that like champion, pedigree. She's definitely the most talented girl that's come up in like the last 5 years, but she hasn't been able to put it together yet. I
I
do
mean,
think,
she still is only 18 and a half
yeah,
years old,
I
so
still think
gotta
she's
give her
a
some
five.
slack.
I give her over 5 Grand Slams pretty easily. It's a great section. It's that you have. I'm trying to count. Svitolina's never won a Grand Slam. She could be the best player in the last 10 years to not win a Grand Slam. Uh, and then you have Mitrova is finalist of a Grand Slam. Vondrousova's won a Grand Slam. Venus has won a Grand Slam or 8. And there's one other girl who's won a couple. Krachekova,
Oh yeah.
always tough. So Schneider versus her is probably the best match in that quarter of the first round. And I remember watching Schneider and thinking she's going to win at least 2 majors, and she just hasn't. Same thing. She hasn't improved at all. She's gone down from being like top 15. So I don't see her making a run. Svitolina won, but she didn't beat anyone. I'm gonna go with you. I think this is Mira's quarter.
Yeah. So Mira is, let's see here. This is quarter two. Quarter two, Coco Golf plus 180, Mir Andreeva plus 240, and then a little bit of drop off. Mukova 6-1, Svitolina 7-1, Diana Schneider 10-1, Vondrasova 20-1. So yeah, we're both on Andreeva. Slade, are you going with the American Coco Golf? Or are you joining
I
us
am.
with
I'm on Coco Golf. I'm hoping Venus Williams wins her
I love
first
it.
match so we can get Venus versus
Me
Golf. But
too.
she's like plus 515, so like I don't think it's probably going to happen. But I think that would at least be a fun matchup.
It'd be amazing. It would be like the best matchup for Americans. I don't know if anyone else in the world would care, but I'd love it.
what'd you think of Coco Gauff and Brad Gilbert stopping working together? That was like, I don't know, a year plus ago.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that was a mistake. I'm very high on Brad Gilbert.
I always see you tweeting at him. You guys seem like you're friends.
Yeah, I have connections that like his son runs a tennis club in LA. But he doesn't. I mean, never met him. I remember being at the French Open like 10 years ago, and every day my seat, I went to the same seat every day, and I was lucky enough to have a nice hookup, and I was like right across six rows from Brad Gilbert, and every day we would just like tip each other's the hats to each other, and like got to know each other that week just from that. And I was like, it really just made the whole tournament more fun. And
That's cool.
ever since that, I just have really liked him. Uh, it's too
Nice.
bad that
Yeah.
ESPN got rid of him, but I think he's the best coach, but I also think he's a very demanding coach. And I don't know anything about Coco Golf, but I have a feeling that's not what she wanted.
Yeah, yeah. I'm guessing you're right there. So yeah, ultimately, we'll see if that pays off. Obviously, she won the French last year. If you remember at the beginning of last year, she was in pretty poor form. I was confident she wasn't even going to win a Grand Slam in
Yeah.
2025. So I was proven wrong there. I'm not that out as I was last year on her. I do think she's live for Grand Slams, obviously, but I just don't think it's going to be this one.
Yeah. I mean with her serve, it's just every match is now like you have to cruise like if you're gonna like win a Grand Slam, it really helps if you can cruise through the first few matches. And now with her serve, it's like she can drop a set any round, and it's just
Yeah.
a lot that's gonna catch up to you.
Well, I think you saw that a lot with when Ego was at kind of the peak of her powers 2 years ago. She was just like crushing girls like 6-2,
Yeah,
6-1. She won like what is it, 30 matches in a row or something crazy like that. And it was like she's on the court for like 52 minutes and then
yeah,
other girls on the court for an hour and a half. You multiply that by like 3, 4, 5 matches, and next thing you know, you're on the court 5 hours less than someone in a final, and your legs are super fresh. So that's probably, I think, what's going to give Sabalenka an advantage here. If Iga has to play Osaka, Rybakina, Anisimova back to back to back, and then
hmm,
Sabalenka, whereas if Sabalenka has to play Paulini, and then like I guess it would be Coco Gauff or Andreeva, it just doesn't seem as difficult. So
yeah. No, that's a good point. That's very true. So
And so, just real quick to wrap up the ladies,
yeah,
are there any long shots you like potentially to win this tournament, or anything to maybe sprinkle? Like if I came to you and said Sabalenka, Iga, Rybakina, Nisimova, Coco Gauff, like none of them win, like who is it?
yeah. I mean, the thing is that I would look at Pagula's, and this is like the thing. I would look at Pagula's quarter because if you get to it's like keys. You get to the quarters and you're like confident, and you can beat that, and especially in women. I mean, there's the way that they hit the ball is a lot. It's like anyone can upset anyone. It's not like Cinder and Alcaraz. So I'd look at Pagula's Anna Samova's quarter, and I guess if you were going to take a crazy long shot, I would look at Noskova or Leila Fernandez.
Ooh, Leylah Fernandez. Yeah, we didn't bring her up.
So
I do like her game.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
Niskova's sitting there 100 to 1. Um, I, I mean you're probably not winning, but I don't hate 100 to 1. Leylah Fernandez also 100 to 1.
okay, then I would go with
Towson, who we
Noskova.
mentioned, if
Yeah,
Sabalenka,
did
she
I
can get
piss
past
money away if I
Sabalenka.
got that 120 to 1 for Towson?
Which
Which one?
who?
Yeah,
I
probably
got
did, but that's
Towson
okay.
I got it 120 to 1. I was like, all right. I mean, from my reading, she's beaten like three of the top players in the tournament. So I was like, well, she has that capability. I don't expect her to do it. But if she plays to her potential.
No, and honestly, the thing is especially if you see Keys last year, like these courts are for like power players, so she has a much better chance than like Paulina, who's probably like what 40 to 1,
Yeah.
75 to 1, and I mean I would say Paulini has no chance to win this tournament.
Slade, I will say with Clara Towson, let's look at her last four tournaments. Wuhan Open back in October, lost to Paulini.
Mm.
Ningbo, she lost to Tomjanovic in the round of 32. Lost to Sasnovich in the round of 32 in Brisbane. And then in Adelaide, she lost to Tomjanovic again, and it was a walkover after one set. So she is not riding
I
high right
I
now.
She
know.
might be
I
injured.
Yeah, she did beat Madison Keys last August, I see though. So I was like, she can beat some big names.
She can for sure.
Yeah. One person who I really just like watching play is Emma Navarro. I'm really hoping she makes a big jump this year. Um, Don't think it's going to happen in Australia. Maybe in the U.S. Open. She has a good summer lead up to that. That would be fun. You can get her at 125 to 1. But ultimately, I do think it's going to be one of the top 5 or 6 ladies here taking this home. All right. Any other thoughts on the women? Or are you ready to shift over to the men?
Let's shift over to the men. Are we gonna do our best bets, or we keep that till the end?
I guess it depends. Do you have like what are your best bets? Like first round, like futures, like
Yeah,
what do
just
you?
first round matchups. We'll just wait. We'll just keep that till the end.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's end the show with first round, then everyone can write those down and get them in. Okay. So men, obviously, Sinner and Alcaraz. It all revolves around them. Two top players in the world. They've gone back and forth. I think it's the last 3 slams meeting in the finals. Um, I think if you're a tennis fan, I think the dominance, especially now as they like kind of build up their like star portfolios, it is fun. I think we're all kind of rooting for them to make the finals. I guess I don't want to speak for everyone, but I definitely think that's where we get the highest quality matches. Um, that being said, Sinner, I'm mainly an Alcaraz guy, but Sinner
Yeah,
like always seems like he's unbeatable to like the average player, whereas I feel like Alcaraz like is more susceptible to an off night and can lose to any guy in the top 25. Um, Not that he does often, but I just feel like compared to Sinner, I'd more likely see him upset. Um, do you feel similarly?
yeah, yes, and yeah. I think we think that because he lost to like Bodek Van de Champ at the U.S. Open, and we can't really in our mind think of one time Sinner laid like a complete egg.
That's true.
Uh, so there's that. I don't think that Alcaraz can just lose to anyone. I think the guy has to really play really well. Besides that was like a one off, but he has a hard draw.
Yeah, so let's pull it up here. So he's the 1 seed. So this is Q1.
You
Notable
know,
people. He's got Mutet. He's got American Tommy Paul, looking to have a little bit better year than last year. Davidovich Fokina, who's in good form. Very interesting character, Alexander Bublik, who is finally taking tennis seriously and vaulted in the top 10. Uh, and Flavio Caboli, and then Alex DeMinor, who is the second highest seed in his area. I'm not necessarily concerned with DeMinor. I don't think he could beat Alcaraz, but do you think there could be someone else in here that could potentially give him trouble?
yeah, Tommy Paul actually matches up like superbly well with Alcaraz. I don't know if you want to look at their head to head, and but it's if there is like if it is one sided, there's been some very close matches where Tommy Paul should have won. Um, he actually
Yeah,
matches up really well with him.
let's take a
Uh,
look here. So Alcaraz has won. He dominated him in clay at Roland Garros. That's obvious. That's not
yeah,
Tommy's
no,
court
that's his,
there.
he's a French Open junior champion.
Oh, I didn't know that. So he does like the clay.
He does. He's America's greatest
Interesting.
hope on clay.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected. Um, Alcaraz beat him in the Olympics. That's funny. Their last two, they haven't played on hard court since 2023. It's been clay, grass.
Who won?
Um, and
What?
in at Wimbledon, Alcaraz has won all three. But in
Okay.
2024, Alcaraz at Wimbledon lost the first set, then took the next three. So,
Okay.
um, but yeah, that's interesting.
Like I would give Tommy Paul no chance for Sinner, but versus Alcaraz, I think he's not. I think he can do it. And then Corda, I'm waiting for Corda to break through. So I think there's a couple of guys. I wouldn't give Fokina much of a chance for him. And Bublik definitely has a shot. So it's not the easiest draw for him. But that being said, he's still a huge favorite, and I would be very surprised if he doesn't make the semis and
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah, I'm with you on Corda. He's just had like the worst injury luck ever. I'd love to see him run clean for 6 months and see how high he could get because, um, like even like when Tiafoe was ranked super high, like I still like if I had to bet my life on something, I would have taken like Corda over Tiafoe. Um, maybe even Tommy Paul, I guess in the form last year. I did see an interesting one of the PPHs that I have. You're able to bet on where will the player be ranked at the end of the year, and I wanted to run this one by you. I thought this number seemed a little odd. It
Yeah,
was Tommy Paul over under 24 and a half in the world.
yeah. He should be. He is a top 24 player.
Yeah, that seems way too high. He's sitting at 20 right now.
Yeah, and he had a bad year last year,
Yeah.
and he's playing right now, so he might get some points to this week. But and he's an all surface guy, so he's gonna have like good results. Like he's the kind of guy who's gonna get to like the round of 32 or 16 at every Grand Slam,
Yeah.
and then pick up a couple like 250 wins and have one or two good runs that have 500 and 1,000. So even on a down year, he's a top 20 guy right now.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
He just
But
he
yeah,
did
let's
he did just lose.
tonight.
He lost tonight at Adelaide to Machak. So
Mahacha, he's good. I don't think that's a
yeah,
bad loss.
another top 30 guy.
These tournaments right before Grand Slams are always kind of funny to me. I feel like I like betting dogs in these
Yeah,
matchups because in the back of their mind, like they have the Australian Open coming up. Like this loss to Tommy Paul like doesn't really mean anything as long as he's like feeling good and healthy going in the tournament. I don't think he
yeah.
cares too much.
No, he lost last week to Pericard. I think he had it was like 7-6 in the third, and he beat Opelka. So it's hard to like gauge like how he's playing because he just keeps playing these serve bots.
Yeah,
But he has a good draw to get to. He's gonna play Fokina, and at least that match is 50-50. So
yeah. Yeah. So quarter odds here. Alcaraz is out to minus 450. Bublik 10-1. Demon Hour 12-1. Tommy Paul 20. Korda 33. Fokina 33. I'm probably just not betting here. I'm just gonna kind of take it match by match, but it's gonna be Alcaraz most likely.
no, I agree, and I think that one match that I love. I
Hmm.
haven't looked at the odds quite yet. I can pull it up. I think Demeanor is going to absolutely destroy Berrettini. What is he like minus 400?
Let's see.
I feel like people don't realize just quite how bad Berrettini is now, which is sad.
Yeah,
Um,
he's minus 450 against
okay,
Berrettini Sunday
so
night.
435 on bookmaker, but so yeah, that's fair. So I do think that is going to get like hyped up as like a possible upset match, and that's just I don't see it. I don't see any chance almost that's an upset. So
Yeah.
I think that we will have a clash of where's he in the draw? You were saying that's Alcaraz's quarterfinal, right?
Uh, yes. Alcaraz for who? Alcaraz and
Demeanor, Alex.
yes, that'd be the
Yeah. Yep.
quarterfinals. Demon Hours all the way at the bottom.
That
Yeah,
could be. I mean, that could be a good match. I don't think he has like the weapons to beat Alcaraz, but he can make it. He could definitely make it a match. So
yeah. I mean, he's one of the. These are probably the two of the top three or four quickest guys on the tour. So we'd see a lot of defense, but if Alcaraz can hit winners, there's no way Demon's keeping up with him there.
no,
So
I agree. Well, let's go to the Zverev's quarter then.
Zverev, I really don't even know how he's still ranked three in the world. I can't remember the last time I've really been that impressed with him, but here he is, the three seed leading this quarter. We got Felix Auger Aliassime, Daniil Medvedev,
Hmm.
Rublev, Cerundolo.
It's a great quarter.
It is.
There's a chance.
Rinderknech.
Honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if two. There's like 8 guys who can win this quarter, and I wouldn't be shocked. But
Is Lerner Tien one of those guys?
he is, which I would. He's one of the the last of the, but like
Yeah.
I would be shocked. Is what I'm
He's
saying.
actually the odds here to win this quarter. Medvedev is plus 190,
He's.
Zverev plus 220.
I would make Medvedev the favorite of this quarter.
I
Without
did Medvedev plus 200 to win this quarter, and I actually have him making it one round further than that, I want to say.
and I will say one thing that's interesting though is Zverev actually has a pretty shitty draw. Like he plays Diallo, who's got to be one of the top non-seeds,
Yep.
and then he plays Popperin, who's won a Masters 1000 on hard court, which
Yep.
he's not that good and he's not playing well, but he probably his easiest match is the third round versus Nori, and then round of 16 he would play Rublev. So I mean that's a very tough draw. I think Nori he
It
would beat.
is.
He's gonna have to hit a lot of balls, and that's at least tiring. So by the time he
Well,
gets
I
to
remember Diallo, Fritz, it took Fritz 5 sets to beat Diallo at Wimbledon last year. So it's
yeah,
definitely, I don't think that'll be a straight set match at all. I think
no.
Diallo
What
will
is
be
the
able to
odds on
take the
that?
outcome. Yeah, let's take a look at that here. So Zverev, Diallo, Zverev is up to minus 900 on the money
Okay,
line.
I was gonna say minus
Um,
600.
Set betting, if you want to take Zverev 3-1 plus 240, I don't hate that.
No, I mean Diallo has like six. He's one of the guys like outside the top 30 that I think he spends the most money on coaches. He has like,
Hmm.
and I think he's great coaches, and he's improved a lot. He went to University of Kentucky
Oh,
for
nice.
Wildcats. It's college basketball, so you have to plug them in. Uh, I don't think that Zverev will lose, but Diallo does have one of the like the biggest serves, so it's gonna be tight. You know, it's gonna be a lot of maybe a tiebreaker or two, and that's just
Yeah.
mentally pretty exhausting. And then he's gonna play
Well,
Australia in the second round, so I'm going. I'm saying this is Medvedev's court. It's a really easy court like draw. I don't think Rinderknecht on hard court should be trouble like in the slightest. And then Lerner Tien or Felix. Obviously, Felix is a great player, but on hard court, I think Medvedev should beat Felix.
I agree. I agree.
Especially
Seems
not
like
because he's not on.
Medvedev is in a much better mental place than he was several months ago. Obviously, got rid of his coach. Seemed like he's not taking it as seriously now. But I really hope I hope Medvedev goes deep because every tournament needs a guy to play in the night session that goes a little too long. It's always Medvedev
Yeah.
screaming at someone in the crowd or complaining about the lights or something. That's definitely my wife. Anytime Medvedev is playing a night match, it's appointment TV for her.
Oh yeah. He. I think he only won one match at a Grand Slam last year.
That's
So he has, and he's still 11 in the world, 11 seed. So he's gonna, he's not. I think that he's getting like, people are looking at him like he's on this huge downswing and downfall, like because we're used to he should be the 3 seed, not Zverev. Uh, you know,
yeah. That's a good point on Medvedev. I didn't realize he only won.
and I
Let's
think
see what
he
we got
lost
here.
all three, like first or second round ones, like seven,
Yeah,
six, and
he
fifth. So
Australian second round and then
he lost
French
to
Wimbledon US
Tien.
Open all first round. That
Yeah, he
is
lost to
hard to
Tien in
believe.
this in Australian, like 7, 6 in the fifth, where I think he'd served for the match twice.
Hmm.
Um, and then of
Wow.
course the U.S. Open, famous, famous scene.
Yep. Hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on Medvedev. I think this is his quarter. Um, People I'm throwing out: Rublev plus 750. No thanks. Definitely not Cam Nori. I don't think Lerner has enough firepower right now. I also thought it was kind of silly that he played in like that next gen tournament.
Yeah.
Too old for that. Uh, wow. It kind of Diallo's in pretty high praise from these odds, considering he's 35-1 and like has the eighth best odds, and he has Zverev in the first. It's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we're all in Medvedev here. Felix, like, just to end this here, FAA has, we saw him play pretty well against Sinner. Obviously, couldn't get past him. I think that was it the semis of the U.S.
Mhm.
Open. I feel like FAA is one of those guys who, like, under the bright lights, he's not necessarily like winning matches, but like if you're playing him on like a random afternoon in the second or third round, I think he's going to take care of business. But like his last losses, he lost to, or he beat Sinner in Cincinnati in the round of 16. Then he played Sinner again. It was a walkover in Madrid. U.S. Open lost to Sinner in the semifinals. Paris Master lost to Sinner again, and then lost to Sinner again in the ATP World Finals. So um, tough, been some tough paths for him.
That is tough, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to quarter three, we have Novak Djokovic and Lorenzo Musetti, the 4 and 5 seed respectively. We got the American Taylor Fritz as the 9. Stefanos Tsitsipas, who I'm mentioning just to be nice, he has no chance. The 31st
Wow.
seed here. Talon Griekspoor, Nakashima, Jakub Mensik, who I think has a pretty decent chance to make a run here. What are your thoughts here? Do you think Djokovic is actually live, or is he just, I don't know,
This
he's
is,
just going to
this
try
is
his best?
honestly
That weather
this is the
might.
like
I was gonna say that weather might catch up to that old man.
yeah, and he's hurt. I really think he's hurt. Everything like all the televised practices that they've had is like he's taking like extended breaks for his neck. He's losing
Yeah.
sets in practice to like Tiafo. They're saying. Uh, I was like, think whenever we were talking about like coming on today, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Djokovic pulls out, and I think he would have pulled out, but his draw is so easy that I think he's like hoping he can like play his way into this tournament because even Djokovic like 20-30%, he's in the third round easily and
Mm-hmm.
probably the fourth round, and then he's hoping he can like be healthy to just lose to Sinner. But there's one interesting thing to get ahead of him is that he's also guaranteed the night match in the semifinals, the way that they do the draw, which he hasn't had the last 3 years, I think. So he's lost in the semifinals in the day session. So I think that would really help him. So I think he has all the like reasons to not pull out, but health wise, I think he's really bad actually.
So looking at his draw, Hurkacz is unseeded. He would face him in the round of 16. Hurkacz's serving was pretty incredible at the United Cup last week for Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he's a guy that would be able to beat Djokovic, and I do think Mensik, as long as he keeps his head on straight and doesn't get too uh, caught up in the moment against Djokovic, I also think he could take him out. Um, let's see, Fritz is in here. If they somehow played in the quarterfinals, I'll
Yeah.
take Djokovic over Fritz all day. I I am like I hate to be against Americans in tennis, but I'm really just not. I'm not a Fritz guy at all.
Nah. No, I'm not either. He didn't even play the 1 point tournament. But
Yeah.
Menchik didn't play great at the United Cup. Hurkacz played great. Everyone like if you talk about like off season, like transformation, he's ripped in like a body transformation way. So he's always
Yeah.
had like the biggest serve. So maybe he can if this helps him stay healthy. He's a top 10 player.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see him back by the end of this year. Pushing, I mean,
And
where is he
Menchik
right
what
now?
19, 20, and already top 20. So he's a Masters 1000 winner. One guy who I love. I don't think he's gonna do anything in this tournament, but I love this young Spanish guy Jodar. I don't even know how to say his name, but Jodar.
Oh, Rafael Jodar.
Yeah, that's my guy.
I don't think I've ever watched him play. What do you like about him?
He's. I just think he's got the top 10 talent.
Gotcha. So he looks like he
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 plays in the
played at
AHL.
University of West Virginia. He's 19 years old, and he's up to 150 in the world. Okay, keep an eye on him.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, he played the next gen tournament as well and actually beat Lerner Tien. Gotcha. Okay, keep an eye on him.
keep an eye on him.
Um, I like Yuri Lehechka. I remember I bet on him at Indian Wells to actually I think I bet him to make the finals of Indian Wells. And I went to watch his match and he let me down, but that dude's got a great serve.
Yes. And
Like
Sissy
he'd be
Pass
on what'd you say?
and Sissy Pass is in that section.
Yeah.
He's playing amazing. He beat Fritz last week.
Yeah. He just had to get rid of Bedosa, get those girl problems out of there, and he's back to playing.
Yeah.
Uh, I still don't see him going deep. I think Musetti can take care of business there. Um, I guess the odds are probably pretty interesting here. We have to win quarter three, Djokovic. Wow, I did not think it was going to be this much. Djokovic plus 135, Fritz
Well,
plus 410,
uh-huh.
Musetti 6-1, Herkoch 750, Mensik 15-1.
Yeah, honestly, at those odds, I like Musetti. As crazy as that sounds, his draws. He has a tough first round, which he should win. He's playing a guy who beat that Canadian guy last week. He's a good player, very good player. But I think he'll be able to squeeze through that easy second round. He'll be the favorite versus Dimitrov versus Tsitsipas, and then Fritz and Djokovic plus 600. It's really not terrible.
Yeah, it's really not. And you referenced Rafael Kolingen, Belgian player
Yeah,
who beat Shapovalov and Dimitrov
right.
in
That's his
Brisbane.
first
Yeah,
round, but he'll get through that one, especially in 3 out of 5 sets.
yeah,
He's just such a steady guy, and he looks good, healthy again. He's gotten far in majors, uh, steadily the last 5 years. So I like that plus 600. I think that's a good chance. I think that's of this section, it's probably my favorite one.
yeah. I don't disagree with that at all. Another guy that I do like, not in Grand Slams but smaller tournaments, Jan Leonard Struff, the German,
Oh
who's
yeah,
somehow pushing 36 years old. When he's on his game, I think he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He could play Musetti in the round of 16. I think that'd be a fun matchup
yeah. He
if
can he
that
can
got
beat
there.
Fritz. Why not? Fritz
Yeah,
doesn't return that great, and Struff can hold serve with like the best of anyone. So
yeah,
why not?
yeah. No, I agree. Okay, yeah. So 6-1, 6-1 on Musetti there. Yeah, that's probably where I'm going. I mean, what percent chance do you give Djokovic to win? If you think he's injured, are you just
I
throwing him completely out?
You can't because he's Djokovic, but I really think he's badly injured.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I could be I'd say that he's 80% chance to play.
gotcha. Yeah. Well, anybody who's if you think he's 80% chance to play, or if you see him, because normally these quarter odds continue to be updated at the end of each day. So if he's looking a little wobbly in a match you're watching, and he's still the favorite, there should be some value, kind of two or three people down the board.
I mean, yes and
So
no. He also he's been known to look shaky and wobbly one match, and the next 2 days later looks
yeah,
fresh as a daisy. So
yeah, that's
of
true.
anyone, I wouldn't count him. Like if he's playing, I wouldn't go against him because of his injury. Like pre-match.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on him. Moving on to the last quarter here. Obviously, this is Yannick Sinner's quarter. We talked a little bit about him at the top of the show. It's him. It's Ben Shelton. It's João Fonseca, Casper Ruud, Shapovalov, Valentin Vachereau, who busted onto the scene last year, winning 1,000. Karen Kashanov, Darderi. Obviously, this is Sinners to lose. Looking at the odds here, um, Sinner is minus 550, followed by Shelton 12-1, Fonseca 16-1. Ugo Umber, who Shelton actually plays in the first round, which should be an unbelievable match, 18-1. Uh, Obviously, I think you're going with Sinner here, but if it's not Sinner, who else do you think could potentially make a run here?
The only person I could see beating, I can't see Shelton beating Sinner. Just he doesn't return well enough. Kashnov. I don't think
Mm.
Fonseca can beat Sinner yet, but Kashnov could in like a amazing day for him. Rude can't. So I don't see it happening, but of anybody, I would go him.
Yeah,
I guess or Pericard and just hope he serves like the craziest like and just gets the tiebreakers. But he wouldn't win a point on Sinner serve. His return is like literally the worst return on tour by far.
I know. I've bet on him a couple times, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
but
I
yeah,
swear I think I read a stat like he didn't break serve for like almost 3 months last year or something crazy.
yeah, yeah, that happened, which seems
It's,
impossible, but it happened. You
yeah.
mentioned Ben Shelton not being able to beat Sinner. I mean, you basically just laid out what needs to happen instead of Petchy Pericard. Shelton's serve has to be incredible, and Shelton can break. I think he can break Sinner maybe twice in a
Mhm.
3 times maybe in a 5 set match
Wow.
tops. Like,
No way.
you don't think so? You don't think he
That's
could
a
do it
lot.
twice in a 5 set match?
No, that's tough. We'll see. He's not playing great. He lost to Baez, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he did yesterday. Yeah.
So, though, like you said, he probably wants to get to the Australian Open, and I think he could. Shelton could lose any of the first
I think
three
he's only
matches.
like
Any,
I think he's minus 150 for his first match. So
yeah,
he's not a
that
big
doesn't
favorite.
surprise me. I think he would beat Monfils, but there's crazier things that have happened,
Yeah.
and then the 30 seed Vachereau, we don't really know that much about yet. It's his first Grand Slam, first big tournament after winning the Masters. So
Hmm.
it's a fun section, but it's Sinners to lose. Pretty easy draw.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully we end up getting the Fonseca match
Yeah.
in the round of 32. Where it like fast forwarding to like US Open time or even end of the year, how do you think this season goes for Fonseca?
I think he should be top 20 by the end of the year.
Yeah, he's 32 right now.
Yeah. If he could get to a semi-final of a clay court Masters 1000, I think that'd be like an amazing year for him. And then a quarters of a Grand Slam. That's like the best year I think he can hope for.
Yeah. Yeah. Physically, I don't think he's there yet.
He's still so
But
young. What is he? 19, 20?
he's 19.4 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So he's so young. And so no pressure to win a major yet, but I think he does need to break into the top 20.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Speaking of ages, I mean, we're on a collision course for Alcaraz Center. I assume
Mhm.
that's what you think is going to be the final.
Yeah.
Alcaraz is 22.6 years old. Sinner's a couple years older, 24.4 years old. When do you think age is going to start becoming a factor, like in their rivalry? Like not even like until they're like 27 to 29 or
Yeah.
even later.
Maybe later because of like how technology is, advancing and everything, every year is younger for these guys. And the amount of money they can put into keeping their bodies young. I think
Yeah.
that the biggest threat to their rivalry is a third person coming.
But who is it? It could, like, I would love for it to be Fonseca, but we're,
Yeah,
I think, a couple of years away from that. I remember when I was talking to you for our U.S. Open pod, we were like, who's going to be the next person to win a Grand Slam? I think I said Shelton. I'm not sure if you said
yeah,
him too, but I also mentioned Archer Fees, who's hurt.
uh-huh.
I don't. He
Yeah,
hasn't. He's been continually hurt, but I really love his game. I'm hoping we get him healthy later this year. Um, but yeah, until someone else steps up, it's really just going to be these two making semifinals, finals, finals all year.
yeah. I mean, if you look at the seeds and you go through one by one, you're like, who's going to be the next, the guy to join the big three? And I don't see any, unfortunately. That's like, oh, that's the guy. That's the Djokovic of the group. To break the Nadal, Federer. I don't see anyone that's like so.
No, I
Maybe
mean it's like going down the list, like Zverev. Like how many over under 0.5 Grand Slams for Zverev in his career?
under easily. But it's
Yeah,
like you look at these guys and you're like, how many of these guys' best days are behind them versus ahead of them?
yeah,
Like the 32 seed Mute, he's not all of a sudden going to become a top 10 player. He's
no,
peaking. He's never going higher than he is now. Nakashima is good, but he's not getting to top 10. Casper Ruud's not, gonna all of a sudden develop like crazy weapons. So it's like nobody in
what
this group has that to like go to the
what?
third
So
bench.
a notable person out for this tournament is Jack Draper. We saw him win
Yeah.
Indian Wells. What do you think
And
about his prospects?
that'll be the best bet I've ever made that never I took him 2 years ago to win Wimbledon at like I want to say like 240 to 1.
Yeah,
So it's like my best bet I'll never win. I think he's a guy who can make a finals of a Grand Slam, maybe win one, but I don't see the consistency as like to be a top 3 guy year in year out.
yeah,
So his peak is there. He'll have the right tournaments, but I don't think he's like the week in week out threat that like is going to challenge these two guys.
yeah. One other person I think is worth mentioning that's injured right now is Holger Rune.
Yeah,
Um, I think at the peak of his powers, which we do not see as often as we should, I think he can really hit with the best of them. I remember it was a great match. Him against Ugo Umber at Indian Wells. They ended up moving that to the main court. That match I really enjoyed. He's only 22.7 years old. He just tore his Achilles though. He'll be back hopefully at the end of this year, if not sooner. Probably take him another few months to get back into it, but I'd like to see him win a Grand Slam someday if the cards fall his way.
yeah. Nobody looks more normal as a top 5 guy than him versus like the number 150 in the world, though.
Yeah,
It's crazy. He loses to these guys every other week, but
yeah,
he's a kind of like Andy Murray where it's like he has everything. It's just like he's got to decide like if he wants to just like play passive and or just go for it. And that's I think it's tough because it comes so easy to him.
yeah. No, I think you're exactly right. All right, so let's go back to I guess what we think is going to happen here. Are you ultimately going with Sinner Alcaraz in the final? And if
Yeah, I think
so,
I saw it today. It was like 85%. The odds were like implying there was like an 85% chance that one of them wins the tournament. I think you can take the field.
yeah, the odds minus 650 for Sinner Alcaraz roughly versus 5-1 for the field.
Yeah. Uh, Without one of them getting injured, I just don't see both of them losing.
Yeah.
The most likely outcome is a final between them. Uh,
And if we get that final,
ooh, I'll go center.
Sinner will be probably, what do you think, minus 180? Is that too
That's
much?
high. I think that's too
That's hot.
much. Let's go with
What was the U.S. Open odds?
I I think hasn't the underdog won like the past three matches and are all three Grand Slam finals?
Yeah, I think that is true. I think you'll see minus 140.
Minus 140.
Yeah.
So it was it looks
125
like
to
Sinner
135.
opened
Okay.
what?
So it's
Yeah.
probably
I'm seeing it
right
was
around that.
between 125 and 135, minus 125 to 135
Yeah,
for the Open.
for the US Open. Yeah, it looks like it started minus 120 and got bet to minus 135.
So that
Yeah.
sounds fair. Minus 140 maybe, at most. Not at most, but that sounds fair.
Yeah. Yeah, so ultimately I will be taking Alcaraz. I just think that in a five set match, I just don't see him. I don't see him getting nervous. I don't see him getting injured. I know he had the cramps against Djokovic a couple years back. I think that's out of his system. Sometimes when I watch Sinner, like he's walking around like a baby deer, and then he like
Hmm.
actually starts playing and like looks incredible. I don't really understand it. Um, Obviously he's in great shape, but he's just still so skinny. I feel like he's more susceptible to breaking down in a five set match. But I say that, and like that fifth set against Alcaraz at the French was incredible. Um, so I don't know. It's really a coin flip, but I'm gonna be going with Alcaraz here.
That makes sense.
Do you have a lean?
I would go. I've always am a center, kind of guy with between the two, and I guess I just have to keep riding it. So I'll go center.
Yeah, Slade. You have the
I
majority
have
vote here.
I have Sinner, and then I sprinkled a little bit on Medvedev. I think he has a better chance than Djokovic, so I liked him at 30 to. I got him 30 to 1 range.
Oh wow.
He's 30
Yeah,
to
that's
1,
not
and
terrible. I
Djokovic
think
is 16 to 1, and I was like, that seems a little interesting.
Hmm.
I think a fun thing to do with I don't see the odds on FanDuel here, but if you can find some like exactas, like pairing up Alcaraz or Sinner with a longer shot that you think has a chance, I think that's kind of where you can have a fun bet there with some value.
Yeah, or a woman. You could do the double.
Dude, for Wimbledon last year, I literally had in my bet slip Iga and Nisimova, and I was like, so
Oh
I'm a big
man.
Iga fan, obviously, but I was like, she's never played well on grass past the quarters. Like, I'm just a homer. Like, I can't just be throwing money away. And sure enough, it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Well, so it sounds like overall you're going Rabakina Sinner. I'm going um, Iga and Alcaraz, and then Slade. You're going Sinner, and do you have a pick on the women's side?
No, I don't. I work
Anyway,
with
okay.
somebody related to Madison Keys, so I'm like maybe I should go there. But uh,
You love Keys. I love it. He's
yeah,
loyal.
she won it last year. So, but no, I mean
I had her last year.
I think Sabalenka will win. I don't love the
Yeah.
odds.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
that's fair.
Sinner's
Okay,
now
well,
minus 140, so you would think probably be higher than that in the final, but
probably. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're an hour 13 minutes in. I think everyone's kind of been waiting for this. Are there any first round matchups or bets that you're eyeing?
sure. The men's side, I do like Jadar. I know it's like minus 230, so you could pair it with a couple guys like let's say Medvedev or someone else like that, who we've talked about. I really like Lerner Tien first round. I think that's my favorite first round.
Okay.
Uh,
So
Jerome,
that's against
Jerome.
oh, Jerome, okay.
It's gonna be a long. I mean, both guys are like grinders, and but Jerome's, he's still playing in New Zealand, and
Um, he hasn't, he does. I just don't think he matches up well against Tien. So I like him. I like Kachanov to beat Mickelson. I've not liked Mickelson at all the last 2 weeks. I've watched him a fair amount, and he's just not at his best right now at all. So I don't think he's going to put up much of a fight there. And then I really like Bastarvati first round matchup. It's a great video if anyone hasn't seen it to just YouTube it, where the guy absolutely just completely choked that fifth set tiebreaker against him in the qualifying.
Oh, last week, yeah, because
Yeah, it's an
yes,
amazing video.
Slade. I don't know if you saw it. Offner was playing Basveretti, and he thought it was a 7 point tie break, and so he's up 7-1. He like celebrated, and obviously, like you played collegiate tennis, so what's that like? Like after a match and you win, like don't you kind of just like you're just like relaxed and you're like relieved that it's over? Is it? It's I assume it's pretty hard to get back into kind of that fighter mentality.
Yeah, I just don't understand how like he didn't know. Like
Yeah.
the line judge should have said something. Like it might have been something. I've been trying to like watch the video and figure it out. Like the line judge could have said it's a 10-point tiebreaker, and he might have been confused because they call it 7-point tiebreaker, a 12-point tiebreaker. So his brain could have been like off for a split second. He just didn't think about it. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was so quick that you would think he didn't fine. I've seen this happen like quite a few times, and you don't see the guy just completely choke. He also
Hmm.
does have a history of choking, so it's a great
Yep.
video. And then the last match, I do think Baez should be. I haven't bet it, but Baez is playing absolutely unbelievable. He beat Shelton today. I think he won every match at the United Cup. Uh, and he looks great. He hasn't just beat people; he's looked really well, like really, really great. Uh, and he's playing he's playing the French guy Pericard, who can't break serve. He could
So
obviously,
he's gonna have to win a couple tie breaks probably.
yeah, uh, at least. So I can't. I hate betting against that kind of match, but I just don't see how he's not a favorite. So there's that. So those are the one, two, three, four, five, six matches I like on the men's side, and nothing on the women's side really yet.
Gotcha. Okay. I think yeah. So men's side, we'll tweet all those out. We got Jodar, Tien, Kachanov, Bashvaretti, and Baez.
Yeah.
I like that. Just let me sift through the women's side here. Um, yeah, I have to look at the lines a little further. Obviously, I think there's always upsets, especially if it's really hot. We could see some big players go down. Um,
Baez is
I
actually
think
playing Jerome tonight.
oh, that's tonight. Interesting.
So Baez might have a long week, but you know what? Playing Pericard is pretty not the most physical match because he's missing half the returns. It's more mental, like trying to be in
Yeah.
some form of rhythm when the guy misses so much. So
Hmm. Baez is actually up 6-1, 4 all in the in
he's
the
he's playing unbelievable.
second. Yeah. Yeah. Fun stuff.
So
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought this was kind of a great preview. Really enjoyed kind of diving deep into this draw here. I know the draw just came out yesterday, so hopefully all the listeners and or watchers on YouTube here, you have some time to kind of digest this. One thing that's don't let it surprise you is the first match is actually going to be Saturday night because Australia is one day ahead. They start on that first Sunday, so
I forgot they
make sure to
missed
get
that.
your bets in on Friday or early Saturday if you want any futures. We'll be able to be sure to tweet all these off on the pod on our Twitter. And yeah, Joey Isaacs, we really appreciate having you on, man. We'd love to continue to have you for future Grand Slam betting previews, especially if you keep giving us winners. We can't get enough of that.
If these win, then I'll be back. For the Indian Wells preview show.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds great. Indian Wells. Obviously, I'm trying to get Slade out here to Indian Wells. Gone the past 3 years. We actually met up there last year. It's a great venue for
I'll
sure.
be there.
But
I'll be there that first weekend.
okay,
When is that?
perfect. We'll have to link up.
What, July? That's in the summer, right?
No. What?
No, it's in March.
March. Oh wow.
Yeah.
What? Do you know
So,
when? March what?
um, it's
Early.
the
Like
it's
before the
it's the
15th,
early.
right?
It's the first. I think the first round is like March 4th, 5th. That's when the first couple
Yeah.
days. My
It's always
wife
like the
is.
first weekend is always Selection Sunday.
Yeah, that's literally how
Okay,
it
that's
goes.
right. Yeah, Charlie went out
Yeah.
there for that.
Yeah, exactly. And this year, my streak could potentially come to an end. My wife is pregnant. She's due on the 22nd of February. So, if our son can do it, I would love to take him to Indian Wells as a 2-week-old and get him around the game of
I don't know
tennis.
about that. That's crazy.
Use your paternity
Yeah,
leave right there.
exactly. But all right. Yeah, really enjoyed it with you guys. Appreciate it. Guys, feel free to, if you're listening, follow us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Tell your friends about it. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week to talk more NFL. Best luck on your bets. Yeah, thanks for listening. This has been another episode of Bet GPT.